Hello, and welcome back to Enshrouded. Today we finally build my house. We revamped my house. I first have to go through and delete this front I put on it. But look, I even set around some of the ground and stuff, everything back here. It'll be a nice little home. And I made plenty of crafting materials, so I'm not doing the same thing I've done in all of the other ones, except for right at the end, where I have to go and grab just so many materials for no reason, but I do have to first clear everything out first, which, being my first house, I came to the realization that this bad boy was a whole bunch of singular pieces, so I have to delete so much by hand because it was not the little prefabbed building size tools, and it was such a pain in the... I think it was probably about like 20 minutes or something was me deleting stuff by hand for this first part. Which was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. Also, if I do sound a little bit, quote-unquote, under the weather, it's because allergies are still a thing, and it is early in the morning. And as you know, early in the morning is still a bad time in the morning for allergies. I set this down. I build a good bit of it, a good lot of this, because I'm like, you know what, then let's figure out what this looks like first before I do anything with it. Only to immediately hate it. I despise this floor I put in and the walls I put in. So I go and I delete everything, because I'm like, you know what, it's not low enough. It's not low enough. I originally, this was going to be the first floor, and I don't know, I wasn't even going to have a basement in this house. So for some reason, I decided that I wanted a basement, and so I did. I did some work. I did some work on it. Oh God, it was just this whole thing. I mean, it's definitely one of the most intricate buildings I've built, but it was also a pain because of all the strange nuanced things that I was doing with it. And it wasn't... Okay, here's the worst part. I built it, and it then became not even what I had originally planned it out to be looking like. I mean, it still turned out well. I think overall it wasn't bad, but it was definitely one of those that I was like, I don't know, it kind of messed that one up, I guess. But it's alright. It's alright, I guess. I definitely messed up our path a little bit while I was doing that. Freaked out right there, too. But I did turn off the music in the game, and it's just the regular noises and stuff, so you didn't have to hear crazy sped up versions of the Enshrouded music. But I also had my own music playing at the time, which was a collage of various genres, as I am prone to do. I don't know why I put a window there. There's nothing to see. Someone could just throw a bucket of feces in through the window, because by God, that's what they'll do. Oh, there's a little time skip. So here we're actually going over to the timbered blocks, which I did not exactly what I wanted to do for this part. Again, I've played the game a little bit while I was having to farm the materials, and I had come across a lot of the houses that you find in Enshrouded, and that was roughly what I wanted, where it was just, you know, stone walls and stuff for a little while, and then it was the Tudor-style half-timbered blocks on top. And I didn't do that, and I'm not going to say I'm, like, severely angry at it. It still looks alright. It's a pretty good house, but it made me sad because it's not what I had originally planned to do for the house. Also, homies, you gotta make a way to just get rid of these little, like, pegs that come out of the freaking half-timbered blocks, so that way I can actually build and not have to worry about it, because, oh my God, it is such a pain like, there's no way to just take them off or remove them. You have to build things a certain way so it doesn't do it. And they make me mad, because then when I want part of a stone wall to be under the timbered blocks, the half-timbered blocks, in a regular house, they just have the pegs. And it was in the blacksmith's house as well. But I don't know. Maybe I just needed to find a new building material. Because apparently half-timbered blocks are only so good. I did have fun with the actual timbered blocks. I was enjoying those. Or the refined wood block, that's what it is. They honestly have like a pretty nice look to them. And I use them for the walls, a majority of the walls inside, because they did look nice. Also, I think it's probably the closest to what the roof pieces are. So the actual, like, the little connector that the roof pieces have on the underside, and for the walling, it does look like that. So, also, I really like how this porch came out. This porch was quite a fantastic thing. Obviously, the whole thing I'm doing right here, that's not what stays. I don't keep that, like, at all. I replace quite a lot of that because I liked a different version of it, which we'll see right here, which I just brought this whole piece up instead of having it be like weird stairs up. One thing I will commend is the stone. The stone looks very nice. Big fan of the stone. Except for a little later, when I build a fireplace, and I use that stone as a floor, and I don't know why this was a thing, why this remained a thing, but the floor, like, almost seeming to fall through was not fun to look at, and I wish that it was flat, similar to the other buildings. I don't know why all the stone pieces and stuff, if you make them a roof, it just never works. It's always like, it slumps in. I understand it's rock, and it's going to have some weight, but I also understand that I like when things look nice, and that did not look nice. I wish you could go in with, like, I don't know, let's say a rake. Like the rake, and just, you know, make it a solid flat instead of it being angled. Or if anybody wanted that, you could do that. But it is what it is. But I was a big fan. I was a big fan of this stone. Like, for walls and stuff, it was very good looking. It turned out very well. I do some weird stuff later that I'm going to tell you I'm not the biggest fan of for the house. I think it turned out okay, but it was definitely one of those that I was a little bit disappointed in how it measured up. So, at some point I might fix it. But, I mean, here's the thing, is the game's coming out. I don't know if it is the 1.0 version, but the newest, biggest update is going to come out, and there are so many changes. There are so many changes to it, and I've come to the conclusion that, like, you know, eventually there's going to be a moment where I have to restart the world, and I can't tell if I want to, or, like, if it's backwards compatible, obviously we'll still just play on this one, but I don't know if I want to just make a whole new world, because there's so many changes. There are so many changes. There's a grand total of, like, combat reworks to the entire, like, leveling and skill trees and everything is different. So, I don't know. It is one of those that I'll have to see and figure out whether or not we'll keep playing just on this one. But you see that refined wood block, actually, it just, like, I hate what they do with the ends, where it's all, like, the planks aren't cut flush. But otherwise, like, it looks pretty nice. They don't look absolutely abysmal. Luckily, thank God. And then, okay, so not only I'm a greedy bastard. Not only do I want a basement, but now I also want a second floor, which doubly screwed over any plans that I had for it, because I was thinking of just doing similar to what I did with the blacksmiths, of I have the first floor and I have the second floor, which is basically just a room, and that's where my room would be. I don't know why I went through all the trouble of doing an extra floor when I could have been happy. And this was a real bad mess up on my end. I go through and I decide I want the windows, the sides of the windows, to be stone. And I did the incorrect thing of putting the stone directly next to them. See, now I went through and I did the whole house. I did the whole house like this, only to then not want it to look like that, and I have to do it all again. And it does look better that way. I mean, obviously I have to take out these pillars down here, but it was one of those that I'm like, you know, if you took a second and you didn't just do it, it would have been good. You could have looked nice. But it is what it is. And then here, so this is one of my qualms, right? Because I like what this looks like. I like the little stone trim that goes on the outside. I probably should have just put it on the outside instead of it being where it is here. But that promotes the pegs from the half-timbered blocks, and it annoys me to no end. Look at all those little windows. They actually look like nice little cutouts, nice little windows. And like I don't know, it kind of reminds me of like a house I built in Valheim once for the weird magic stuff where you throw stuff in it and it shoots magic out. I don't know why I did that. Also, I don't know why I'm building with half-timbered blocks for the thing here. I think I do fix that later, I don't know. It was just on my bar. I had the most of it as well. But you see those pegs, dude? I hate that. It's on the stairs there. They're terrible. And then right here, anytime you want to place furniture like up against a wall, you just can't, because it looks like that, which is so sad. Also, this was this was the hardest roof that I've ever had to try and build in this game, and it made me very, very frustrated. Thank God for double jump. Just being able to jump everywhere and go places you're definitely not supposed to reach is so nice. All the windows. You need all the natural light, even though I don't think a single piece of this building is within line of sight of the sun properly. That goes to everywhere around us. So here is where I build the fires, the little house home hearths, and I become so sad because it just divots. If you go underneath it, it's just such a divot in your roof, and it's weird, and it just looks weird. I decided to just fully cover this up. It wasn't worth having a window underneath the fireplace. Overall, I do kind of like how this little chimney and everything turned out, but it wasn't as fantastic as I could have made it. But at the end of the day, it's all for show. There's literally nothing else that it does. It's all about the minute details. I tell you what, though, I looked at the community hub for Enshrouded today, and oh my god, dude, there's people that build some crazy stuff that I could never. And honestly, I'm quite thankful that I would not spend the time to be doing something like that. They look beautiful, but it's something that I probably would never even enjoy making. Like, I don't know. I like these little cozy things. I like the little... It doesn't have to be crazy. It never... Because you're going to live in it, right? You're not going to go to every aspect of it. And the funny part is, I'll even show you later down the line. It's so funny. I just wall off a full, like, part of the second floor. Just like, nah, it's cut off, whatever. We're never going to use that little area. It doesn't matter to me. But I probably could have used actual, like, bricks for this, and I'm a little sad that I didn't use bricks for this, because maybe it'd look nicer with the half-tempered walls, but I don't know. Is what it is. We're not going for specialties here. It doesn't really matter. I'll tell you what, though, like, here in a little bit, I do show off that weird, like, dent it puts in the ceiling, which is such a weird thing. I have to grab my clay and do all this stuff again. So, in total, I will say, this whole recording was 5 hours, 11 minutes. But the actual building of the house and everything itself was probably only like 3 of it. Because 1 hour of it was I was making lunch, and then the other hour of it was I was grabbing materials so I could finish off all the decorations and stuff that I was building. So, it is what it is. Also, this was a nightmare to try and get this pathway correct. But it got somewhat sorted, whatever you consider that as. I was just looking at my regular road that I messed up so long ago. Going back to the new update and stuff like that, I think if I ever were to restart, I would find a better place to live. I'm not saying that the very first starting area is the worst thing. It's beyond worse, but it is, like, limited, if that makes any sense. It's very, like, this is as far as you go for building. And, like, a whole bunch of it's now off of the cliffside. Like, my building area is off the cliffside. I've got no, like, new building materials around me. It's all basically the same stuff. So that's a little rough, but it really does come down to preference of it. And I'm not going to move to, like, the Revelwood or something. It'll be pitch black every time I wake up because of all the trees and stuff, but definitely choose, like, a better, flatter area. Honestly, the area I have for the barn is, like, one of the nicest areas. Like, very flat, very open. A little bit of hills either side, but it looks nice. Speaking of that, I need to move all those goats and stuff over there so that way I don't have them right under my ass 24/7. I don't even know why I did this. I don't even know why I decided I want to do fancy, like, extra windows. It was just a pain. It was just a pain later to deal with. Also, here's the start of the roof dilemma. Like, half of this video is this damn roof and, like, me trying to figure out how the hell this is going to wind up and being, like, I mean, it works. They all connect. It all fits. But it's one of those that, like, you look at it and you're like, I don't know if I'd ever want a house that had a roof like that. That looks terrible. Bad roof. To which I say, I know. I know. But, my goodness. I should have cut out so much of this damn roof because it was so much. But I mean, it kind of fleshed out a lot of what the house was going to look like, I guess. I just didn't want a really tall roof, which was always going to be like pseudo the case because this game really messes you up with perspective. So it's like, oh my god, this house isn't, like, it doesn't seem like it's that big. And then you build it, and you're like, oh my god, it's like, this is huge. Every time I go into the Huntress's house, I'm like, dude, the building's actually massive. Like, and it doesn't seem that way, but at the same time, it's one of those that's just like, you go in there, and you're like, shit, you got room. You got room for everything. You can do whatever the hell you really want to in it, if not that plus. I mean, the farmer's house is probably the best example of, like, an actual good-sized house that isn't overbearing and has, like, a nice, solid baby roof. See, this, I don't even know what I was doing here. I don't even know what I was trying to do here, but it's, it's weird. I did really weird stuff. The roofs in this game are such a damned if you do, damned if you don't. But I mean, also, I could have made the shape of the house better. I could have made it exactly like how I thought I was going to make it, but I fatted it. I fatted the house heavily, which was problematic because then it, you know, you do that sort of stuff with the house and it's like, oh, this isn't what I wanted it to be at all. This part, I somehow capped it. I somehow capped it off. And it was very straight. You can see my chimney off to the left there. I didn't show that off, but it's a chimney. It spews out the side. Not that it matters. This game doesn't have smoke physics like Valheim does, so I'm very pleased with that, actually, because I'm pretty sure everybody had already died from oxygen deprivation. Overall, though, not bad, not bad. I think the main, like, focus on the house that I put in this time, since it is my house, I kind of wanted to focus on the decorative aspect of it. Also, I do the roofs for these two little windows here, and I mean, they were troublesome. They were troublesome windows, I'll tell you that much. They were quite problematic. But I did it, and they're there. So it's not that big of a deal. Also, I just couldn't get my roof tiles here correct, and it was kind of making me a little frustrated. This part made me mad. My OCD was ringing up a storm because these windows aren't centered towards the house. You'd think I'd get over that from old, you know, Minecraft, building houses specifically with the purpose that they aren't symmetrical, so that way I could get over my OCD, but God, sometimes games you play and you're just like, what if it was symmetrical? I could be so happy if it was. But it's never that simple. This place was such a ball ache. It was... But you see, okay, so this is the wall, meaning the wall for the roof tiles. It's every roof tile has that wall color to it. I don't think you can change it, as far as I'm aware. And it looks similar to the refined wood block. So, like, putting that next to it, it's not that big of a leap. It's, you know, pretty manageable. This is the part of the roof I roofed off because I never wanted to see it again. I said, you know what, I think I am better off with that just being not even an attic, but a fire hazard for future tenants of this Flameborn's home. Oh man, what a disservice to building. And then I'm building, and over here I'm like, oh no, it puts the roof down, so I have to go and fix all of that. Bup. Bup. I think right here I finally realized, oh shit, I put the Tudor blocks on my wallage here, and I don't know why I've done that. I think I fix it. If I don't fix it, then oh well. I'll have to fix it at a later date. Here I'm fixing this thing. I wanted like I don't know why I wanted this, but I wanted a little like wood overhang for some reason. And I don't know, maybe it looks nice to me. Maybe I can put some knickknacks up there and I can call it a day, but I don't know why I decided that was a good idea. Here I'm measuring up and seeing that I've really messed it up this time. Yeah, look at that. I don't know, maybe I just do it. Maybe I just full send it, I guess. Yeah, I guess I do just full send it on the Tudor walls. I mean, they don't look bad. I don't know if I want them as my inside walls, though. I put a pillar. I don't know why I put a pillar, but I've placed it. And it goes all the way into the basement. Because why not? It's not about why. Not why not. And the basement. Look at how nice the basement looks. I don't know, that stone is just real nice looking for some reason to me. I also finally go in and fix a whole bunch of my wall stuff I've done down here. I looked out that window and I didn't even fix the thing. You can see there's that little bump on the stone there for the roof that is a little sad, and it just looks like it's gonna cave in. It makes me fairly frustrated. Oh my goodness, we finally get to go to the decorative side, taking all the blocks, taking all the pieces, placing stuff everywhere. Oh, baby. Aren't I excited for this? Because this was the thing that I was thoroughly like, I want to try my hand at decorating in this game. And I don't know how it's going to wind up, but I'm hoping it's good. Also, spent a whole bunch of my copper bars on these fence posts for my little yard here to make it look nice and graveyardish. I know there's the actual graveyard things, but for some reason those just didn't scratch the itch. I don't know if you can place them on top of each other and have it look any different or what the deal is, but it is what it is. I just have a whole bunch of these little copper fences now, and I think that pulled it together quite well. It definitely looks like a lord's manor, if you will, which was kind of nice. Overall, like, I mean, just look at that silhouette even is not bad. Not bad at all. Do a couple of finalizing touches on this bad boy, which I am thoroughly excited about because, holy crap, I can finally say that it's finished and I have a home. I have a home to live in. I don't have to be in the basement of the basement of the inn anymore. Oh, look at it. I should have put some windows in. I'm not a windows person. Maybe I just don't like how the windows of the game look. Oh, it ties together that Scrooge McDuck look. With all the windows everywhere, all fancy looking. There's definitely more decorative measures I could have put forward, but I did not do so. So, is what it is. But look at all these little, it's actually like, it has life in it, which is kind of nifty. It doesn't look half bad. There's some more, like, it's pretty empty overall, but it's not as terrible. There's more stuff I would have done down here if some of those building pieces weren't just, like, huge. I was going to put a large clay vat or whatever the hell. I was disappointed in that. I had to show everybody my disapproval of this. I had to get a second take, because I'm like, wow, you really just let that happen, huh? Oh, how nice. I didn't do anything with this room. Could have done something with this room, but it doesn't really matter. And then originally, I had put the other side as my bedroom. right? But this is my bedroom now. And instead, the one with the big windows and all of that stuff just over here is the bathroom. Because obviously, if I'm going to be anywhere luxurious, it's the bathroom. And jump out the window. But yeah, look at that. Look at that bad boy. I immediately go over to fix this, though. It was annoying me. It was terrifying. But, yeah, we're nearing the end of this one. So thank you for watching, listening, going about your day, your life. I've been Ren or Connor. This has been me actually being responsible and not being homeless for once in this game. So, you know, I don't know. I look forward to the future of this game, and I hope you do as well. So I will see you in whatever is next. Take care.